All right, today I'm honored to welcome my coach, my mentor, Eric Kalima, to the Rich in Spirit podcast. And what better guest to have on here on the very first episode than this man right here. Eric is an entrepreneur, business coach, the founder of PT Legends, Mr. PT Legend himself, where he helps personal trainers scale their online fitness businesses to 6 and 7 figures. His journey is one of incredible resilience, overcoming addiction and incarceration to create a life of purpose, discipline, and success. Eric's insights on building financial freedom, transforming adversity into opportunity, and living with intentionality align perfectly with the mission of this podcast. So without further ado, Eric, I know I gave you a pretty good introduction, but I would love to hear more about you. Introduce yourself and just tell everybody about your story and what you had to go through to get to where you're at now.
Yeah, hell yeah. Pleasure to be here, man. Honored to be here. Honored to have you as a student. You've been amazing, bro. My name's Eric Anthony Klima, and yeah, I'm a business coach, past online fitness coach. Definitely been through the depths of hell in terms of going through addiction, drug addiction, jail, and several adversities in my life. Broke two of my legs at the same time, and many crazy stories I can tell you guys. So happy to be here, man.
Nice. So what was the craziest story that you had to go through? What would you say is like one of the lowest of the lows that you had to overcome in order to keep moving forward?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think definitely was definitely being locked up, right? I'm not into AA or NA and stuff like that, but they have a very famous quote that says, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you
Mhm.
change. And so for me, going to jail was a wake up call. I mean, I only did 3 years, and that's not a lot to many people, but for me, it was a lot of time. And I had a lot of time to sit there and think about my actions and the mistakes that I've made and the pain that I've caused to my own family, not just myself, but people who care about me. And
Mhm.
that taught me a hard lesson in life. It was a hard slap in the face that made me realize, like, hey, I am sick and tired of this situation. And so that was definitely the biggest challenge I've ever gone through. Now, one specific moment, honestly, wasn't anything I personally, well, it is personal, I guess, but was the moment when I was in jail when they made the first offer. My mom came to visit me, and we were sitting through a Zoom screen like this. I don't know if they use Zoom, but it's like a Zoom screen, at least where I was in Passaic County Jail. And my mom told me that I'd potentially be getting 20 years in jail. And in that moment, I just broke down and like I took a moment. I actually cried, and like I
Mhm.
remember lying to all the other, criminals in the jail because I didn't want them to think I was a bitch. Um, I told them like someone died. I remember lying about it because I didn't want to look like a bitch. But the truth was
Yeah.
that they just offered me 20 years. And, I seen my mom just break down on the call, and that broke my heart. And in that moment, I swear I was committed to committing suicide. I was like, if I
Mhm.
do get 20 years, I'm committing suicide. But if I don't, I'm going to drastically change my life. I'm going to be a freaking mastermind, a savage. And I remember committing to that, and I have committed to that so far. The God gave me that opportunity, and it didn't come easy. They really wanted to give me a lot of time. They did end up bringing it down. They always scare you with big numbers in the beginning, but they brought it down to like 15 and like 10, and that's still a long time, dude.
Yes.
And eventually I was blessed, and they gave me an opportunity, which was called drug court. And I swore, man, I was going to do everything in my power to not go through that same thing or put anybody through that. Yeah, that was definitely the hardest moment in my life for sure.
Yeah. That's definitely a heartfelt story too. That's crazy just knowing where you come from and knowing that you could be going away for 20 years. I can only imagine that feeling. I've never been behind bars myself, but I've kind of felt and related with that because my brother, he's kind of a hothead, kind of a wild
Hmm.
child, of the family. So just even seeing him in that predicament when he got locked up and they're talking about, yeah, he can go away for this long and stuff like that, it's a very emotional situation to be in. So I can relate on that side of the spectrum. And I
Hmm.
think that's very important. So would you say that emotion, that low of the low, that emotion is what is very important in a situation like that, and to translate that into something that's more positive? Like, how did you turn these low emotions into something of positivity so that you could actually turn your life around? Like, do you think that's what a lot of people miss when they're like in adversity or having tough times? They just dwell in these bad situations and they don't pick themselves up.
What exactly is your question?
So
Help
like,
clarify.
is the emotions that you felt, the negative
Mhm.
emotions that you felt when you're at the lowest of the lows, do you think that is very important in order to bring yourself out of that? Or how did you transform these negative emotions? How did you bring them into positivity to get you out of that wreck that you were in?
For me, like I said, personally, for me, it was just the pain of staying the same was greater than the pain of change, right? It was just, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I had no option. It's either keep doing what I'm doing that's keeping me stuck, or do something different that can keep me out of that lifestyle. It's definitely challenging getting out of the criminal lifestyle, changing your behaviors, changing your environment, etc. I guess it's all just like, how much pain are you willing to go through? I don't know. It's tough to say, man.
Yeah.
I don't think many people, I think people have gone through adversity. They say like entrepreneurs are typically accustomed to chaos and stress. And so it's easy for us to overcome any emotions or negative things that happen in life easily, including in business. You
Mhm.
know, so I think all those things kind of help me adapt to the challenges of business, if that answers your question. You know, for me, it was just like, I ain't like, I've gone through so much pain. Like, fuck that. I'm not going through this shit again. That's for
Yeah,
me, honestly, you know,
absolutely.
like
I think
it takes some people to hit real rock bottom for them to change. And I was one of those people. Some people, you know, they become millionaires just because they want to, but many people got to hit rock bottom before they change. Like they got to go homeless. They got to like lose their house. They got to
exactly.
like lose their job. And for me, that was it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, they usually say that if you get locked up, then that's what prompts it. You know, something like that will prompt it, or you have to face a damn near death experience in order for you to want to change your life. It's unfortunate it has to be like that in a lot of cases, but people
Yeah.
don't really see what's worth it on the other side because for a while they're going down this spiral. A lot of people need to have that near death experience to know that, okay, well, anything else bad that happens to me, I can't be touched by it. It's like adversity. After I've been through what I've been through, is now it's like
It's
I
easy.
laugh at it. Yeah, it's easy. I laugh at it
Yeah.
now. It's nothing to me, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just very tough to see that a lot of people have to go to the depths of hell almost in order to come up out of it, right? So
Yeah.
my next question, what I was thinking about is, so once you got out of jail, once you overcame that, you got let off. What was going through your mind at that moment? Like, what did you know you had to do at that time to make something actually change for you?
I didn't know what to do. If that's what you asked me, like, did I know what to do? Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I just came across an opportunity and took it. Right. So as an in-person trainer, I love fitness. I love being jacked, shredded, working out. And so that's where I chose to attempt to make a career, but it wasn't a career. I realized it's a broken system. Right.
Mhm.
And so I hit my second time in life where I would say it was a very hard point when I got fired. That was that second, you know, how do we call it? Another moment in my life where I was kind of broken down, especially after committing all those hours and being passionate about the job. And so I slightly got lucky with a mentor reaching out to me.
Mhm.
And I realized when I got fired, like, hey, that was my epiphany moment. Like, you're not safe at a job. Just because you're working your ass off doesn't mean like you're going to be financially free and like successful in life. There's got to be some other way to, you got to build a business, you got to be an entrepreneur, you got to do something. So a mentor reached out to me, gave me the opportunity, and I was scared, dude. You know, it was back in 2018. Entrepreneurship wasn't what it is now. Now, like, you know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. It's cool. It's on social media. At that time, it was out there too, but it wasn't like, for me, I was skeptical just as most people are. But I realized I had to do something. Like the worst that could happen is I would just be broke in the same situation as I was if the money went down the drain, or it can actually work. And that was that life-changing moment for me, was when I took action on that. And they taught me the game of business, of marketing, sales, social media. Honestly, I got hit with a good opportunity and took it. I had the balls to do it. Yeah. But that was the second, I forgot the word I would use. I've been working all day today. That was the second, rock bottom moment for me, because I was like broke, living in my mom's living room. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I had no choice but to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I was in another position where like, there's no choice. I have to go all in and go forward,
Right. How do you stay so positive or, have this outlook on life is that you just got to keep going in these times of turmoil that you've been through?
I think once again, it comes down to all the challenges and turmoil that I've been through. There's studies that actually show that most successful entrepreneurs have gone through some deep, dark shit. So we're like, we adapt to chaos. Like we actually embrace chaos. When things are not chaotic, we kind of feel weird,
Yeah.
which also brings on other challenges in your business, because as you grow, you get more freedom back. And then you're looking for chaos. You're like, all right, well, what do I focus on? You start doing things in your business that don't even need to be done, and you actually ruin things. It's hard to
Mhm.
explain, but you get used to that chaos. You're so just like, it's just, you know, nothing really phases you at that point.
So
I
is
do,
it,
trust me, I get negative times. Like, this month hasn't been the greatest for me, and I've been pissed off. I mean, this whole day I was yelling and throwing shit today, because this has been a bad month.
it's one of those
But
days.
I still have that drive where I'm like, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm saying?
So is there a method behind that madness? A method behind, like, is there a formula? Is there a system or something that you can fall back on to get yourself picked back up? Because a lot of people, they'll be in hell and high water, and they'll just be like self-loathing, like, why me? Why do I
Yeah,
do this? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And they just don't know. So like for a
yeah.
guy like yourself or a high level businessman, how do you pick yourself up in these times? Like, how can you translate that to somebody else when they're feeling down and out and when they don't know what to do or they don't know how to process their emotions in these times of adversity? Like, what's your way of getting you out of that rut or getting you back high at a positive state again so you can keep going?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I get to a real low point where I feel like quitting, or just thinking like, why do I even bother? I just think to myself, like, this is where most soft motherfuckers stop, like a little
Mhm.
bitch. And this is why they're losers. So during the hardest times, I always just say to myself, I cannot lose if I just stick to it and don't quit. And I'm also very competitive.
Mhm.
I don't like my competitors beating me, to be honest with you. I respect them, but I want to shit on all of them. So
Yeah.
I always think to myself, like, hey, my competitor is doing better than me. I don't have time to be like self-loathing and feeling bad about myself and playing the victim. I got to figure out a solution, right? Like, most poor people and losers focus on the problem instead of the solution. So to answer your question, it really depends like on the person, but I think the first part of setting your mindset up for success is just having a vision, right? Setting up your mornings for success, writing things down, like the things you're going to attack, and believing in yourself. Like really getting down to the basics, even meditating for like 5 minutes a day in the morning. And
Yeah.
during that meditation practice, really, and I don't meditate anymore, believe it or not, because it's just my mindset is set up for success, but I still vision my goals, what I want to happen. I repeat it out loud, write it down, and feel it as if it's going to work. And you start to get confidence in yourself and feel it, which allows, if you believe in yourself, it allows for you to actually do the stuff to get there.
Mhm.
You
So it's
know?
that self-talk and that motivation, that affirmation, a little bit of self-love that helps you get to where you need to go, that helps you stay up and have that
Yeah.
drive to push forward.
Yeah. And you know what? Now that you bring that up, being your own biggest motivator. right?
Yep.
Positive self-talk. Whenever you catch yourself saying topic A, we'll call topic A negative shit. Like, I'm not good enough. This doesn't work. Jalen made it because his parents were rich, etc. Right? Like the victim mindset. You have to slap the shit out of topic A. Like you have to slap the shit out of that victim that you're being and be the hero that says like, no, like I'm gonna do what Jalen did to get there. I am good enough. I'm better than Jalen. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna be a millionaire. And if you repetitively do that over time, you can train yourself to always win.
Exactly. You have to
Yeah.
reframe the way that you think a lot of times. And I like to think that a lot of people don't, they definitely do not think like that. Like you can walk
No.
around seeing people and they're like zombies because they're either not talking to themselves at all or they're always talking down on themselves. And
Yeah.
to me, it's very significant, and it's another unfortunate situation because like we are we are like divine individuals. I like to say. So with that said, you have almost an obligation to speak to yourself in a positive light, and speaking to
Hmm.
yourself positively is so important because that's what's going to naturally bring you out of that rut, like you said.
Yeah. Well, people got to understand like no one's coming to save you when you bitch and cry.
Exactly. There's
You
nothing you can.
know, you're looking for pity and you're just like, you're bringing yourself down even further. No matter what, you're going to have negative self talk. I think even the best of the best do. But it's
Yeah.
just a matter of like managing it and shifting it immediately, catching it early and
Yeah.
moving
Checking it at
forward.
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. That awareness. That's what a lot of people lack is awareness, self awareness, what they like, what they don't like. They don't even know themselves enough to have that awareness or to know when they're talking down on themselves or not speaking light into themselves at all.
Yeah. And I think a society has a lot to do with it as well.
Mm.
I think society trains people to be soft, and the schooling system, the education system as well, trains people to be like mice, right? They put you
Yes.
through a system that doesn't teach you anything about taxes, building a business, entrepreneurship, making your money work for you, anything that's wealth driven. Like you don't learn anything about real estate. Like, why are they not teaching you about building assets and shit in there? And so, if we're trained to learn about science, which is never going to help you unless you're a scientist,
Right.
and all these other um, things in school, and not the things on how to make money. Of course, making money is going to be hard when you come out because you've been trained your whole life to just be like book smart, but not actually financially literate. So it's like it's so uncomfortable once you get out of school to do those things because we don't know shit about it. You get me?
Yeah, that's tough. I was actually thinking to myself as well, it's like you said, they train us like mice. So in essence, they don't really teach anybody to think for themselves. They only teach you how to think how they want you to think. And it's in school, it's pass or fail. And if you don't get a good grade, then I just failed, or I'm going to get kept back, or I'm going to look stupid in front of the rest of my classroom. Instead of actually teaching them how to, think for yourself and do something that you enjoy doing, you're forced to do what they want you to do and essentially work in corporate America.
Right.
And
Hmm.
that's not fair. I think that's the problem, like you said, is that since they don't have that capability, everybody is everybody's forced to think in a certain way once you leave out. So everything is uncomfortable after school, and then nothing is possible, right?
Yeah.
Learning how to become an entrepreneur is impossible. How to do something different is impossible. Or what this guy's doing, what Eric is doing, is because like he's lucky or because he was right place at the right time. So it's an
Hmm.
unfortunate situation. But is there anything that you would like to touch on as far as like what you did personally once you had this mindset and drive? Like, what did you do? What were some of the things that actually put you over that hump? And you're like, okay, I'm making money now.
Um. Well, I mean, seeing that like what got me over that hump? I mean, Like once I actually started making money, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once I started making money, I was just like, why would I ever go back to a 9 to 5 when I could just work for myself and choose how much money to make and stuff like that? Once you mean like kind of like when things maybe got stagnant or wasn't
Yeah,
going.
like when it started clicking, like when you realized that, okay, now at this point, I've proven I've proven that I can do this.
But what's your exact question now?
So, all right, so we talked about prison. We talked about getting out of prison. We talked about your second low of the low. So now things are starting to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So things are starting to change for you. So when would you say those things started to change, and you actually are transitioning over into entrepreneurship and I'm actually being successful in what I do?
Well, I mean, number one, investing in myself, right? Into learning those skills that school doesn't teach: marketing, sales, business, building my business muscles, right?
Hmm.
I mean, my first month, I made 10K. I mean, I went pretty hard and did everything that mentor told me to do and more. So for me, I was able to rapidly see the result and, be able to realize the opportunity that was ahead of me, you know? So it's
Hmm.
it's hard. I don't know. I have like a different journey than a lot of people. Now, don't get me wrong, I got stuck at a lot of times during that journey in the past 6 years,
Hmm.
but that's when things change, is when I hired a mentor. Like I invest in myself. It puts your skin in the game. Plus, it just skips through all the guesswork. You learn what works.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So I do know about you that you have spent a lot of money on mentorships.
Yeah.
So tell us how much money you've exactly spent on mentorships and why.
At this point, it's probably like $170,000, if not $200,000. All in my own cash, no credit or nothing like that.
And that would
Because
sound crazy to the average person alone. 170,000 is what he said.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a decent amount, but it's made me in tenfolds way more. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, the first mentorship was like 5 grand. It made me 10 grand in 1 month. So in the first month, I was able to double that investment. That's not even counting the first year. I brought in like 150 my first year of entrepreneurship. So that's like it's a 10x return on my investment annually.
Mhm.
So it only makes sense to keep doing that if you're going to learn. If every time you give money, you make more back, then why not do it? Skipping the guesswork. Like at first, when you're poor, your problem is making more money. Then when you make more money, your problem is making more time.
Yep.
And so if I can skip the guesswork, saving me time, I'm going to do it every time. Especially because new levels bring on new monsters to slay. And if someone's already slayed them, then they're giving you the cheat code, right? That's like me going through a whole entire Call of Duty game. And every time you get to a new level and you're trying to fucking, get through the level, I just give you a cheat code that runs you through it 50% faster, right? You're learning from all the mistakes that people have made. So that way there you can skip through at least 50% of them. No matter what, you're going to make mistakes anyways. And most mentorships are going to take longer than what they put out there in their marketing material, but it's going to get you there a lot faster than you are on your own, for sure.
Exactly. How many
You know,
mentors have you accumulated throughout all of your mentorships?
so the first one, there's like about six. So the one before the last one was the most expensive. That was 40,000. That
Mhm.
was the best one, actually. The last one I'm in is not really, yeah, it's kind of like a mentorship, but it's more like an agency. They're running my YouTube ads. That one was 15,000. Um, And honestly, I haven't even seen results from that, but I'm okay. Like, I get it. Like, you got to be patient. Things take some people longer than others. So you asked how many. So there's one, there's two, three, four. 5 or 6 through the past 5, 6 years. Yeah, maybe 7 maximum.
7 max, all equal 170,000.
Well, I mean, the first one was like 5. The last one was like 40. There are also agencies. I count those kind of as mentorships. So 40, 45 for the first one. There was another one that was 20, so that's 65.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last one I joined was 70, 80. And then there was another one that I joined that was 20, so that's 100K. And then there was like 2 more that I just can't remember. They're like 20K each. So around like 150.
50.
Yeah.
That's still crazy for the average person, but this is what it takes if you want to be a millionaire. You know, I've always liked the quote that a smart man learns from his own experiences, but a wise man will learn from other people's experiences.
Yeah.
So that's just a
Charlie
testament.
Munger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the testament to what it really takes in investing in yourself, which is another form of, that
Oh,
love we talked about earlier.
yeah. I totally forgot. I hired a mentor like last week. I totally forgot it was 7 grand.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even remember that. Yeah. For real estate. So I'm trying to get into real estate now. So that's another one.
Nice. Just
Totally
add it.
forgot about that. That's another 7 Gs. There's probably a couple other ones I forgot about.
So we had 180,000 now.
Yeah, more or less,
180,000
right?
self-investment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Are there any I assume that you've done some reading in your time as well. Like what kind of books do you like to read? Like what's your stilo when it comes to like
Oh,
literature? Any
yeah.
like
Back there.
oh, there we go. We got the bookshelf right behind us.
Yeah. There's probably about like 30 books there,
30.
all business stuff. But the first book I ever read, and if you guys, no offense, are soft, don't have the mindset or have that victim mindset, can't seem to get yourself starting the business, you should probably start with Think and Grow Rich. It's a good book to set your mindset in the right place. But if you want to condense it into one thing, just wake up, repeat your goals, write it down, meditate for 5 minutes, scream at the top of your lungs, I'm going to make $1 million and stuff like that. That's basically what it's about. It's just visioning your goals. If you want to learn the skills of business, like marketing and stuff like that, like I definitely recommend Russell Brunson's books. Those are probably my top of the top. Alex Mosey books are pretty good. Um, I have a lot of good books. Ready, Fire, Aim is a good book, by Michael Masterson. Actually, I'm reading a really good book right now. Oh, that's right here, actually, by Dan Martell. Buy Back Your Time.
Good time.
Yeah,
That's
it's a really, huh?
that's a thick one, isn't it?
So what?
It's a thick one, isn't
Pause. Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic book. I'm only like a quarter's way through, but bro, this book is solid.
Okay. We definitely got some things that we're gonna put on our list
Yeah.
for sure. I like you mentioned Think and Grow Rich earlier. There's a follow-up book that he did called Outwitting the Devil. I really like that book. And that's
Yeah.
basically about you. Have you read that one?
No, no, no.
I think that's a good follow-up book because it basically keeps you from what he likes to say, drifting away and being distracted and getting caught up
Mm.
in, just like anything that really doesn't matter in your life.
Yeah.
It keeps that focus because a lot of the things that cause you to drift are in fact what he says caused by the devil. So he's having a whole conversation with the devil on what the devil does to keep you in this loop, this endless cycle of you going through just like basically bullshit in your life, things that keep you from freedom and keep you from thinking for yourself, So it's
Hmm.
so many things. He even talks about the school thing we talked about earlier. He talks about your vices, your drinking, your smoking, your sex, all this other crazy stuff that you could do on a daily basis that allows you to stay in the loop and in the mice trap or the hamster wheel. It keeps you in this same space. So I
Yeah.
think that's a good follow-up book for people to read right there after they read Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. No doubt. The only thing is about reading is like, don't just read it, take action as you're doing it.
Exactly.
Like I take my time on chapters and I like actually do the stuff they say while I'm going through it.
Yeah.
Versus
You have
most
to
people
read to
just taking
understand.
information. Yeah, they just take information and they don't actually implement. So it's just like a big waste of money and time.
Exactly. You got to read them sometimes 2 or 3 times to really catch some of the things you may have not caught before.
Mhm.
I've noticed that with myself as well. Because sometimes I'll get through a book because I'm like, I just want to get through it.
Yeah, yeah.
I pick it up again. It's like, damn, I didn't notice that before. Or damn, you know, that's even
Yeah.
better. So you got to read
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. They actually say like people who just read less books but more times is actually more beneficial than more books less times.
Right.
Like someone that has read like 100 books but they didn't retain anything versus a person that read 10 but retained every piece inside of those books. Like they read 10 books 10 times each, versus 100
Exactly.
books one time.
Yeah. That's a big
Yeah.
difference there.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So would you think that you're a spiritual individual?
Um, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think I'm like an angel. Like I am the spirits here to change people's lives. It's kind of weird. I
Okay.
feel
I
like I'm
like
like
that.
an alien.
Okay. Okay. It's
Yeah.
alien complex. So does do you think that do you think that this is what actually propels you? Like, I like to think that spirituality is related a lot to entrepreneurship because it makes you find yourself. Do you find any correlation with that and why you say that I'm like an alien? Do you, do you find any correlation with that and like finding yourself and being able to like do what you need to do to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So,
because I feel like I have something to prove to myself and others. And, through our programs and the things that we learn, we pass it down to our students, our clients,
mhm,
family members, girlfriends, so on and so forth. So, I'm in the game to change people's lives. I truly am. Um, and also, I guess if you maybe it's called spiritual or whatever, but for me, growth is an amazing feeling. Like at
yes, I
this
love
point,
that.
I can live an above average lifestyle with the money I make, making this for the rest of my life, but I wouldn't be happy inside staying where I'm at, even though it's, 1%, one percenter's income, you can say, right?
Mhm.
But I wouldn't be happy with it. Like I just would be pissed off. I'd be grumpy. It's like a video game. I don't know about you. I love video games. I still play Call of Duty and I enjoy that feeling of ranking up in video
Facts,
games and also real life.
facts. I do
Yeah.
feel the same way. I'm not a big gamer like I used to be, but I'm infatuated with growth as well. Like
Yeah.
stagnance is death. So when you're not doing anything, you're just like you're dead.
Exactly. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah. So that's a big part of entrepreneurship is actually to you just keep going no matter what.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your biggest goals like today? Like in your business right now and looking forward, what are you looking forward to? What is something that is like on your plate to accomplish next since we're talking about growth?
Yeah, getting this current company to $10 million dollars a year is one of my biggest goals. The second thing is acquiring at least 50 properties within the next 12 to 24 months. Um, and just growing my real estate portfolio, just to create more passive income and fucking dominate in life and put a stamp of my name everywhere.
Mhm.
Um, which like I've already taken action on that. Hired the mentor last week. We already got the LLC. Starting to look for a place, getting pre-approved for the loans and all that good stuff. So with all within a 7 to 14 day window, we've done all that shit. Um, So that's like my next thing. I definitely want to get this company at 10 million a year at least. And then growing the real estate portfolio.
Awesome. This motherfucker just don't stop.
No, I don't. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think we're coming on the back end of the interview. Is there any remarks you want to give the people out there? Any advice that you would give to anybody that's just starting out becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe they're just like stuck in the limbo and they don't know where to go or how to get out of it? What's any good remarks that you would give to them or advice?
Um, One of my favorite quotes by I think Hormozy, everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. Fuck a 9 to 5. Forget average. That is your enemy. Understand there are opportunities out there to escape the 9 to 5. If you do want to escape that, change your environment, change who you're around, start consuming, stuff that Jalen posts and other entrepreneurs who are not just there to make money, but also to expand your mindset on other opportunities that are widely available to anybody. 2024 is the greatest opportunity in history to live in an above average, high achieving life and lifestyle and provide for your family. The opportunity is there for everybody, whether you're a felon, you're fat, you're skinny, you're white, you're black, you're Spanish. It's out there. It's time to fucking eat.
It's time to go get it. And the
Yeah.
time is now.
Dude, the time is now, man.
It
And
was yesterday.
if you motherfuckers are fat, then sign up with Jalen, right? Get yourself in shape first, because success starts with your own health. And that's what creates the wealth. For me, I got fit first. That was a catalyst for my success with everything else I did in business. It taught me the behaviors, the consistency, and gave me the mentality to succeed. That's another thing that I forgot to touch on. That was a huge component and catalyst for the rest of this stuff.
Mhm.
When you feel good, when you look good, you're able to perform better. You're able to handle stress better. You're able to speak to people with confidence, speak to girls with confidence, shake hands and rub shoulders with higher achieving people than you. Got to get your fitness right, man.
Yeah, it's holistic. All this stuff is holistic. Once you're
Mhm.
good at one thing, or once you improve one area of your life, it's easier to improve other areas.
Yeah. And the
So,
final thing is, don't be afraid to drop money, man. Y'all motherfuckers are broke anyways. Invest
yeah.
and learn. Even if it doesn't work, everything teaches you a lesson to get you closer to where it is you want to go.
Facts. Facts. So don't be afraid. You gotta look fear in the face and say, fuck you, and just go through.
That's right.
Hmm. So where can they find you at? Where can people reach you at? They want to become a PT legend or anything of that nature. Indulge more of your content on YouTube. Where can people find you at?
Yeah, great question. So if you want to take action immediately, message me. I'm ready on Instagram. The Instagram is at ERIK _Anthony Fit. You can also check out our website at ptlegends.org. You can check us out, see what we're about, see our client success stories, the events we have, etc. YouTube is the same thing. It's Eric Anthony, I believe. And I drop tons of free value on there. Every week we drop a new YouTube, making sure that we are educating people.
Yes, sir. There you have it. The PT legend himself, the great Eric Anthony Kalima. I just want to say thank you so much for being an amazing guest on my very first YouTube podcast in long form. Just thank you so much. And I'm really excited about this next journey and crushing it with you, bro. Thank you so much for being a great mentor.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you. All the pleasure's mine, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.